Hey everybody, welcome back to Midwest Microbrew. Today we're heading to Titonka, Iowa, which is a small town of about 500 people that's home to some of the most respected beer in the state. Today I'm sitting down with Jeff Brandt, who's the founder and force behind Titonka Brewing Company. Jeff's story is a classic example of what happens when passion meets a do-it-yourself Midwest work ethic. Today we're talking about how he built this destination brewery in a rural corner of Iowa, what it's like operating in a small town, and his philosophy on brewing clean, classic styles that keep people driving from hours away. Let's dive in. Hey Jeff, how's it going today? I'm glad to have you on.
Hey, thank you very much for inviting me on here.
Absolutely. So, welcome to Midwest Microbrew. I figured to start things off, maybe you could just introduce yourself to the audience and talk a little bit about what you do.
Yeah, so I'm Jeff Brandt. I am the owner and brewer at Titonka Brewing Company here up in Titonka, Iowa. Um, yeah, so I guess I you want to go in my origin story and all of that here already then?
Sure,
Okay,
yeah.
yeah. So I guess we'll start from the beginning. I originally went to college for automotive repair, and and after I graduated college, worked at a dealership in Algona up in the area for a few different years, and then uh, I started actually my own automotive repair shop here in Titonka in 2012, and I ran that from 2012 till 2022. Um, so in the meantime, I met my wife, and we ended up getting married. We have three children, and uh, so in that meantime, I was doing started doing some home brewing with a buddy of mine, and between us, we brewed quite a bit of beers. Probably started that in like around 2016, and um, you know, just kind of just got really got the bug bit me with it,
Yeah.
and just like every home brewer, everybody's like, man, you know what? We should start a brewery. So, brewed for a few different years. Got a few of my buddies together, and ended up buying a 1 barrel brew system, and got approved by the state, approved by the feds, got all said and done. But this was just doing it out of my home, and our original plan was just being able to just sell some kegs locally. Well, um, got that all said and done. Well, the first beer that we ever sold was on St. Patty's Day of 2020. And if you know what happened on St. Patty's Day of 2020, the entire world shut down.
Yep.
So COVID honestly for us, since we didn't actually have a tap room or anything going, we were just doing distribution. Was COVID was actually very very good for us because
Yeah.
literally nobody could do anything. They could just get to beer, to go beers, and so we moved a ton of kegs
Wow.
in in that meantime. And like I say, so we were just doing kegs there for probably about half a year, 3/4 of a year, and then um decided that we should maybe do a little canning. So of course just bought a beer gun and just doing it on an October canner. Invite our other buddies over, and we would once a week we'd can beer and drink some beers and just have a good time doing that. Um, so we did that for a few years, and then I'm trying to dates are kind of going crazy. Well, I think we did that till about 2022, and then the wife more or less said, hey, you need to get the brewery out of the house here. So um I had this automotive repair shop where the whole back area was just called cold storage. So we ended up moving the brewery up here to this building that we're in here now. Ended up buying a 3.5 barrel system. So when we moved up here, we kind of revamped on some ownerships and everything like that. And wife ended up buying in. A couple other people left. So now right now it's the wife and I, and we have another guy who's kind of like a silent partner, I guess.
Gotcha.
So once we moved up here, we got a 3.5 barrel system, and that's what we're running up here in the 3.5 barrel system. Well, in this meantime here too, I decided as like the repair shop, you know, wasn't really doing this. The brewery side was actually just kind of a big didn't realize how much time it was actually going to take. Uh so completely went 100% full beer in 2022, and we ended up opening the tap room here in 2023, and that's where we're at here right now. So
Wow, awesome.
yep.
That's a unique story getting started like around COVID time. That's
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
pretty cool.
When you apply for all your license and everything in 2019, you didn't realize what was all going to happen
Yeah.
in 2020. But like I say, with us not having an actual tap room, opened up. So I mean, honestly, like I say, COVID didn't really affect us
Yeah.
too much.
Yeah.
So that was good at least. But
Yeah, that's honestly a good time, and that puts you in kind of a special position, I
yep,
guess. Oh, that's really cool. And your story is it's unique, but it's also similar to a lot of the other brewers that I've interviewed where, they're working a completely separate job, completely random job. They get
yep,
into home brewing and they just find like that they have a passion for it, and then they end up starting a brewery like 5, 10, 15 years down the line,
for
something
sure.
like that. And honestly, those always make the best breweries because those are the people who've, they found out what works, what's been tasting good, and they have a passion for it where they just make it happen. So,
Exactly. Yep,
yeah.
exactly right.
That's super cool. Um, all right, this is a trickier question only because it's kind of hard to pare it down. But how would you describe your brewery in one sentence to someone who's never been there before?
So like I said, I've been thinking about this. I would say small town vibes, with small town vibes with big city brews, I guess, if you want to call it down like that.
Mhm.
I try to pride myself in having very drinkable and approachable beers. With us being in a town of honestly 500 people, we're in a very, very odd niche market where if you get anything crazy off the wall, it's just not going to move. So I've been really trying to approach our light lagers just to probably really hit that beer really good. We have a red that goes over very well. We have a hazy IPA that moves really well too. So, I guess that's what I would say is, small town chill vibes, but
Yeah,
when you come in, make sure, it's I pride with my beers, I guess. So,
yeah, absolutely. It's good stuff. And you guys have been around for, I mean, coming up on 6 years now, selling
yeah,
beer at least.
yep, yep.
Do you have a lot of regulars that come in, being from a small town? A
We
lot of
do,
familiar
yeah.
faces?
Yeah, we do, yeah, yeah. We got a good thing that we do. We have a mug club
Yeah.
membership, so that makes the regulars be able to come back with that. So we have right now we have 46 members. We have a waiting list of, what am I looking at? We've got a waiting list of maybe 12 people that want to get on it. We do cap it at 46. Why 46? I don't know. That's just what fits on our shelves.
Yeah.
So um
A good number as any.
that's exactly right. And yeah, with the Mug Club membership, they get a 20-ounce pour for 16-ounce price. And they get to bring home their mug at the end of the year. And then if they want to renew, then there's a brand new mug that they get. Um, with that, um they get a t-shirt, they get a free beer a month. They get invited to a Mug Club members meal, where I smoke them some meat and
Wow.
do some stuff with that. They get a little Christmas gift at the end of the year. Then also they get on like a text message list, so you new of new beers coming out, they can, they get to know about it a little bit more. And then also with that Mug Club members meal, that's when we release our barrel aged beer. So they're the first ones to be able to get into a get that beer, I guess,
Oh,
than
cool.
anybody else. So yep, yep,
Yeah, that's a good perk. I
yep.
love a brewery with a good mug club.
Yep,
Such a
yep,
good way to
yep.
keep
Like I
people
say,
coming back.
it's worked out great. I mean, it's worked out great for us. So yeah,
Oh yeah, I mean that's a any other breweries watching, that's a good recommendation to start something like that because I've
for
never heard
sure. Yep.
anyone saying that it doesn't work for them.
No,
So kind of getting into some of the family and community questions. How family friendly is your space? Do you make different accommodations for age groups or
oh, for sure.
how
Yeah,
does that
for
work?
sure. I mean, like I say, with us having, three younger kids, I mean, that's, what that was the first thing when we opened this up is I love going to a brewery
Mhm.
where, there is something for the children to do. So we have a little area set to the side where we call it the future brew crew members
Oh,
area.
cool.
And so there's like a little kitchen set and some Hot Wheels cars, some Legos and stuff that they can play over in the area. We got an N64 set up, so
Awesome.
anybody wants to come in and can play an N64 in the corner there.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, game we got games in the back, and we encourage families to bring their kids in, honestly, because I mean whenever I go anywhere, we're always looking for the kids to be able to go and
Yeah.
do something while mom and dad have a couple beers and
Hmm.
chat and socialize and everything like that. So, yep,
Yeah, absolutely. If it's a good spot for kids, that makes it a good spot for parents. So,
for sure.
yeah,
Yep.
great place to hang out. Do you guys participate in any like kind of events within the community or how does that work?
Yeah, well, yeah, I guess, yeah, kind of to a point. Well, so like I
I know
say,
I saw
so
you guys at Coralville. So.
yes, Corville. Yep. So yeah, like I say, yeah, we do all of those. So we got Burf or Iowa Craft Beer Fest coming up in Des Moines. We do Burf Fest. We do Wise Eye has a beer festival that we got invited to. Clear Lake Brew Festival, Okoboji Brew Festival. So we're hitting those up every summer and fall and winter or whatever you want to call it. So,
Awesome. Yeah, a lot of good
yep.
chances for people to come and meet you.
Yeah, it's so great. I mean, honestly, those have been amazing for us.
Hmm.
We've been doing the Des Moines one probably this will be our fourth year, and it's kind of funny. When we first started it up, people would come up and being like, "Where in the hell is Titonka at?" So after the first year of having to say it, be like, okay, hey, this is where Titonka is, and point them out in the map. We ended up printing a little map out, and shows, hey, this is right where
Yep.
we're at on the state. And but going back year after year after year, it's you get to see the same people, or I mean, you're meeting new people all the time too. But
Yeah.
it's kind of funny to see that people are actually like, oh, hey, we've heard of you before. We've tasted your beers. We've all done this. I mean, because like in anywhere where we're gonna go to a bigger city is 2.5 hours away.
Yeah.
Um, so it's fun being able to at least get our name out there and show us what we're able to offer to people that would honestly or would never be able to try our products. So
Yeah. Yeah, that's such a cool opportunity too.
yep.
That's great. Um, so for someone visiting from out of town, if they're coming from a little bit further away, what practical information should they know before they get there?
Oh, well, I guess like I say, our parking lot isn't huge. But we have, parking on the side of the roads and everything like that or whatever too. I mean, we take anything. We cash, credit card, and doing all that other stuff. I know a couple of the bars in town don't do credit cards, so we're the only ones that do credit
Nice.
card stuff. But no, I guess just coming out here. We have an outside patio area,
Yeah.
so that gives the opportunities for people to come out and sit outside and enjoy the nice weather there too.
Yeah. It
But
looks like
yeah,
a nice
just come.
space.
For sure. Yeah, it is. It is. Like I say, it's working. It's been a work in progress. We're still, I mean, we're still always constantly trying to update this and update that and do that. You know, I mean, it was an old automotive repair shop converted into a brewery. So there's always something that we have to be doing, but
Lots of stuff to convert.
for sure,
For
for
sure.
sure.
Oh, that's pretty cool. Yeah, I was looking at the website, some of the pictures and all that, and it looked like a really nice, cozy space too, outside
Yeah,
especially. I
yeah,
like that.
yep. Yeah, like I said, we got a like a little cozy, comfy area. In the back there with some couches and chairs and stuff, so people can come in and chill and do that when they're sitting here too. So
Yeah, I love that. What's your policy on like large groups or private events? Do you do anything with that?
I guess we have a back area that people can rent out if they want to rent out.
Oh, cool.
And so I mean, if we're only open 2 days a week. It's Fridays and Saturdays is the only days that we're open during the week. So of course, when anybody wants to rent anything out, it's on the weekend. But so we really don't necessarily really charge a lot or not, a little bit, depending on if we have to rent that back area out on a weekend. If they want to rent it out during the week, then it's of course, it's a little bit more money. But
Yeah.
really, yeah, I guess really there's nothing too crazy. We got seating for about 90 people here at the brewery. So I mean, really it's there's usually enough room when you're coming in and sitting in with bigger groups and stuff like that too.
Yeah.
So
That's decent. You can fit 90 people in there. That's a decent size.
yeah, yep.
Great. So now getting into kind of the questions that people are probably here for. So you're the man behind the beers.
Yes.
Um, Walk me through your core lineup, kind of what styles you always have available and
So
why
what
they're
I
so
what
popular.
I yeah, so I we got a an American lager. It's our 40-watt American lager. We have a Rooster Tails Red Ale. I'm looking at my deal up here. We have a uh hazy IPA and a brown and a vanilla porter, and those are the ones that we always have on pretty much all the time.
Yeah.
We got a 12 tap deal here, so
Mhm.
the rest are just kind of rotationals, and we keep a cider on. We don't make the cider here, but it's you always try to do a like an Iowa cider
Yeah.
on here too, so at least getting something different than somebody if somebody's not a beer drinker, I guess,
Yeah.
so coming in. But
Yeah. Little something for everybody. Did you
yep,
have that Rooster Tail one? Was that at Coralville?
I did. Yes. Yep. That
Okay.
was down there. Yep.
I think
Yep.
that's probably what I had. I remember it being very tasty.
Like I say, and that's probably one of our first beers that we ever like really fully got. Um, yeah, I guess we've really fully perfected, I guess, and
Mhm.
what it is or whatever. And that's honestly been a lot of that beer's converted a lot of people over from being, the latte drinkers
Yeah.
to being able to try to do a drink a craft beer, really.
Yeah.
It's super easy drinking, got a little bit more taste, a little malty. But then, this past couple years, then we ended up. I realized it's like, okay, we need to brew a lager. So,
Yeah.
really been starting to dive into the lager brewing and all that. Now we came out with our 40 watt lager, and that's honestly our number one selling beer that we have through the tap room at least.
Mhm.
Just because it's an easy drinking beer. We do distribution, and I do all the soul distribution too.
Mhm.
So I'm always trying to get stuff. So we're kind of trying to hit those core beers as being our distribution beers.
Yeah.
um well, our middle of nowhere hazy IPA is probably our number one selling distribution beer.
Okay.
Then our red is probably after that, and kind of goes from there. So yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask actually is what your most popular beer was. But you answered
Yeah,
that
yeah, like I
question.
say, the 40 watt by far, that's just the one, I mean, it's 4.2%.
Hmm.
People can have four or five of them and not get goofy,
Yeah,
our
it's a
hazy
good
is
perk.
our hazy 7.75, so it's one of those, yeah, you have one or two of the beers,
Yeah.
it's just yeah. hence why, the lower ABV beers is the ones that move the best for me, at least up here. So
Yeah, yeah. You got a nice range, it sounds like. So
yep.
that's
Yep.
good
Yeah,
quality.
try to at least cover something for most people. And we, like I say, I do it. I always have a sour on. I
Mhm.
don't necessarily want to call it a core sour just because I'm always doing it. I'm always messing with different flavors and all that to do sours. So,
Yeah.
yep.
So with the sours and everything, my next question was going to be, what's like the most unique, or I don't want to say experimental, but like what's the most unique beer that you've created and what inspired that?
Well, honestly, it was one of them that was at the Coralville one there also, and that was the Flame of Udin.
Oh,
And that was, like I say, I don't get too crazy of anything, but that was probably the most craziest. So I brewed that with some peppers,
hmm.
some cacao nibs, and some cinnamon. So it's a stout that
Mhm.
it's a spicy stout is really, and that's
Oh,
kind of
cool.
like the craziest off the wall thing that I've probably ever done. I mean, a lot of the other stuff is different flavors of sours and
Yeah,
doing things like that. But yeah, just I think that was probably the most unique one I've made to date so
yeah.
far. I have a bunch of unique things that I want to try to do. Just I haven't got around to doing different things, but
Oh no, that
yeah.
makes total sense.
Yep.
That's pretty cool with the spicy beer. I like that.
It is, like I say, it's not one of them that people are going to sit there and say, they'll have one, or they'll try a 10 ounce, or put it in a flight or something like
Mhm.
that or whatever. I haven't had anybody that has spit it out or hated it or anything
Yeah,
like that. But yeah, yep. So
it's
no,
fun
it's
to
been
have
going
something
good.
like that for sure.
Yep.
Absolutely. Um, so this question, what's your brewing philosophy? Like kind of how do you make your beer making decisions?
Well, like I say, I mean, I guess my brewing philosophy is to make approachable beers. I mean,
Yeah.
first and foremost, I mean, um, I think that's the trend, and I know that was another question. The trend of beers is going to be light ABV,
Hmm.
um, or less, yeah, less ABV, and that you say we've been trying to do that for a while too. Is just make something that when somebody can come in, they can have two or three or four of
Hmm.
something, and when they leave here, they're not goofy,
Yeah.
and I'd say, I think I guess that would be my philosophy is try not to, just try to make as many beers as approachable, and try to have the wide variety of range
Yeah.
of everything. You walk into some breweries where they have, like, 5, 6 hazies on. It's like, oh, I love
Hmm.
I love hazies, but when you're in the middle of nowhere where we're at, that's not the place. That's not what really works here for us. So it's just
Right.
like brewing something light, brewing something that people can sit and chit chat and have a good time without getting all goofed up. So
Absolutely. Yeah, yeah. I mean, you want a
yep,
variety of things to try too. That's part
for
of what makes
sure.
it fun
Yeah,
to
for
visit.
sure. Yep.
Absolutely. Do you have any like seasonal or limited releases that people should be looking out for?
Yeah, well, so like I say, coming up here in the summertime, we're doing our not so shandy. It's a lemon shandy. We release that on just during the summertime, so that'll be coming
Mhm.
out here pretty quick. We do our Oktoberfest, or Tyke-toberfest, we call it, release. We do that usually in August, and make sure I kind of pretty much have that beer gone by the end of October, just
Yeah.
because once the end of October seems to hit, nobody wants to buy Oktoberfest beers anymore.
Yeah.
Um, we do that one. That one's usually pretty good. We just started here this last year, having a kind of doing like a little more release party. We had our a catering service come up here. They did some pretzels, did some brats, some sauerkraut. We had
Oh,
polka
nice.
music playing. I'll dress up in my lederhosen and stuff for that day. So we do that, and then the only other bigger release that we do is our barrel aged Great White
Mhm.
Buffalo every year there too. So those are our imperial stout rested in barrels for 2 years is kind of what I kind of like to do the turnaround time on
Cool.
those. So we do that every year there too. So
Yeah. Well, that sounds great. It's
yep,
a lot to look forward to no matter what time of year it is.
for
That's
sure.
nice. Um, for someone new to the world of craft beer, you make a lot of approachable beer. Which one would you recommend as a good introduction?
Everyone who comes in here that asks that question, I steer them to our 40-watt light lager or our Rooster Tails Red. And between those, that's where people can usually pick between. Or I always try to push them. I always try to push them for flights too. At least
Yeah.
you can try something else that's possibly off the wall that you wouldn't have thought of trying before that you
Mhm.
might end up loving. There's a lot of people too who are, like I say, our hazy IPA. They would have never wanted to try an IPA because people have it in their mind what an IPA is. And
Yeah.
well, it's just like, okay, hey, try this, and be like, oh yeah, okay, yeah, give me a pint of that or something.
Yeah.
And dark beers and other dark beers too, people get real goofy. We're like, oh geez, dark beers, they must be chewy, da da da. Well, you know
Yeah.
no, try them. You're gonna get chocolate. You're gonna get, like ours. You get vanilla. You get all these nice roasted coffee flavors. It's like they're very approachable beers there too. If
Mhm.
you actually kind of sit down and think about, what you're actually tasting instead of looking at a can or a glass and be like, geez, that's really dark.
Yeah.
I'm scared of that. Like I say, just or try a little sample of it. If you hate it, then whatever. But yeah,
Yeah.
you might be surprised for what you get. So
Yeah. And that's such a good compliment to the beer too, is when people are like hesitant to try it because they've had, maybe bad experiences or whatever in the past, but then they end up really liking it after having a nice
yep,
sample of it.
yep,
That's a great sign.
that's right.
Um, so this is kind of getting into like the insider questions. So for someone who's new to the brewery, what's something that most people don't know about the brewery, but maybe should?
Well, I guess we started to introduce. We don't have any food here, first and foremost. But I guess we do, to a point we do. I can cook you like a frozen pizza. We have some frozen pizzas from Haggie's Pizza up in Mille Lacs,
Yeah,
Minnesota. They deliver down here. So I
that
got
works.
frozen pizzas. Yeah, I got frozen pizzas here. We have people coming out of town. We have a couple good bars uptown. One of them
Mhm.
one of them does real good specialty pizzas. You can bring all the food in that you want to have. And um there's a lot of people that have never been here before too. I think that you think that we're coming here, that you're just going to be able to just drink beer. No, I mean we got pop for the kid, for anybody honestly. And we
Mhm.
got we do mules. So that's kind of our little specialty
Yeah,
liquor drink that we do here.
I love
We like
mules.
we yeah, oh yeah, like I say, and we use just all the liquors from S&B Distillery. They're a distillery that's just like a town over. So I
Oh,
mean, we
cool.
use all of their stuff. So local with that.
Yeah,
We got the carblesses. Like I said, we got cider. Hard cider. We get. I mean, we try to be able to accommodate for pretty much anyone and everybody coming in. And it's just to get a lot of people coming in and be like, oh, you guys offer more stuff. Yeah, yeah, we
yeah,
offer more stuff. You don't have to sit here and drink a beer if you don't want to have to sit here and drink a beer. So
yeah. It's probably a nice surprise for some people if they're finding out that you offer more. That's really
for
cool.
sure. Yep.
So Titonka's pretty small, but like there's a lot of communities around the area as well. How would you kind of describe the craft beer scene where you're at?
Well, I guess the craft beer scene, I guess we kind of invented the craft beer scene, if you want to look at
Yeah.
that. But we get a lot of southern Minnesota, since we are pretty close to
Yeah.
there. And there's a brewery up in southern Minnesota, up in Blue Earth. So people kind of make the trek between them and hit the distillery, come to us. So I mean, there is kind of a little, if you want to make a day trip of it, you can easily make a little day trip of it.
Yeah.
So like I say, yeah, the craft beer scene in Titonka, like I say, was virtually non-existent. But we're trying to build build it up, I guess, is really
Yeah.
kind of how the major thing is. I mean, the other you go west of us, you're looking at Clear Lake, which is lake time. That's an hour, an hour away. You go an hour 15 well, I said east of us, and then west of us is and like an hour 15 away is like West O. So I mean,
Yeah.
there's not a whole lot up around here. But it's still kind of fun just to kind of come up to be like a small little town of 500, be like, holy shit, you got a brewery here? And
Yeah.
yeah, we got a brewery here. So
Yeah. And I'm sure the people around your area are super glad that you're there too.
yes, yeah, and like I mean, the good thing is too, I mean, we have a Hy-Vee Wine and Spirits there in Elgona, which is a half hour away, and they've been very, very good to us with our cans. I mean, they'll buy literally anything and everything that we make,
Mhm.
and we got a couple shelves in there, so we're trying to at least build the beer scene up a little bit, more than just the same 5, 6 different brands when you walk into a Hy-Vee,
Yeah.
up and around in the area here. So at least you can walk in and be like, oh hey, there's Titonka Brewing, up, yeah,
Yep.
up and around here, and yeah. So
That's awesome.
yep.
Cool. Well, I guess I already kind of got into the seasonal stuff. What's your long-term vision for the brewery? Where do you guys see yourselves in 5 years?
I guess say as of right now, for what we have with equipment and
Mhm.
everything like that, I'm pretty much at max of what I can do. With being able to produce what's the tap room and being able to produce on out on distribution, really.
Yeah.
So my I guess 5 year goal is to get loans paid off is my I guess my big 5 year goal. But I'd love to be able to just I don't know, really just be able to get people to know that we're around here. It is kind of silly too, thinking about, we have people come in here that are from Algona, which is a half hour away, and be like, I've never even heard of you guys before. It's just like, geez, man. I was just like, so I mean, just being able to get our name out there more, which the distribution and all that stuff has really, 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 really been really good for us.
Yeah.
I mean, we distribute down to Des Moines, Okoboji, Waterloo. We got beer down there, Clear Lake, and a bunch of liquor stores in between here. So it's um the Des Moines market has been really good for us. Like at Iowa Tap Room, we're on there. We have 2 taps that are constantly on tap there. So that's been really getting our name out with that. And the lakes area in Okoboji, it's just their
Mhm.
slow time of the year. But I mean, when it's summertime over there, geez, man,
Yeah.
I can hardly keep beer in stock over there. So which is great. So I guess say so, I guess my long-term goal is to, I guess really more or less just be able to try to drive people to the tap room, get us out, and our name out there, I guess more is I
Yeah.
guess my goal, I suppose. So
Absolutely. And that makes total sense what you said about the summertime with Okoboji and all that.
yeah, yeah,
I'm sure that's huge.
yes.
Um, so kind of getting into some of the closing questions too. Uh, if someone could only try 3 things at your brewery, what would you recommend?
Um, how do I want to word it? I guess want to try 3 things at our brewery. I would say I would say be open-minded of trying new things.
Yeah.
Try get a flight. Try flights. Like do if you're not a beer drinker or mules, like I say, our mules go over so well. Um, and then like say, I guess try a pizza too. I can cook you a pizza.
Yeah.
I guess those are the 3 things that I guess yeah.
Yeah.
What I would guess people to try. So
Got everything you need right there. That's
that's
awesome.
exactly right. Yep.
What's the best way for people to stay connected with what you're doing?
Oh, yeah, so we're on Facebook. Just search Titonka Brewing Company. We're on Instagram at Titonka Brewing Co. Our website, titonkabrewingco.com. And I did a Snapchat group, which we're getting a lot of people with Snapchat. So just search Titonka Brewing for Snapchat. I'm always just posting posting dumb things throughout my day on that there too, just to
That's fun.
just to get that done. But yeah, I mean, Facebook honestly is probably going to be the best way of getting on. We are posting to post all our events that we do, new beer releases,
Mhm.
yeah, and just yeah, like I say, just kind of follow us on any of those, I guess, really. So
Yeah, absolutely. And I'll make sure to link those in the description for our
So,
viewers who are watching. Um, any final thoughts or messages for people who would be considering a visit?
I guess, like I say, once again, just come here, be ready to have a small town vibe, just chill atmosphere. Come ready to be honestly kind of surprised for what a little small brewery like this can actually kind of provide
Yeah,
in a town. And I mean, just um be ready to be open-minded on trying different stuff is the big thing. So
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, small
yep,
town vibe, great people, great beer.
that's
That's
exactly
the
right.
recipe for a good time. All right. Well, thank you so much, Jeff, for joining us today on Midwest Microbrew. I had a great time interviewing and learning more about your brewery.
Hey, thank you very much.
Alrighty, guys, that's going to do it for today. Be sure to check out some of our other exclusive interviews with the people from the best breweries in the Midwest. Bye now.